Welcome back to Light Talk, where our guests can be themselves and tell their own unique experiences in their journey with the metaphysical world. And if you have any stories yourself that you would like to share, please email me, lighttalk423@gmail.com. And we're going to make this real quick. Let's get started. And, oh, by the way, click on that like, share, and subscribe buttons down below. Can't forget that. All right, now we're going to start. Let's go ahead and welcome our guest today being with us. And go ahead and introduce yourself and start up on your stories.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Tiffany O'Hearn, and I am an energy healing practitioner as well as an astrologer. And I have been on a journey, as we all have, right?
Right.
And you see yourselves through stepping stones, right? So it's almost like, there's a cascade of mountains in front of you. And not to sound like the mountains are hard, because that's not it at all, right? But it's just this journey. It's like this knowing. And it's, if we look back through our lives, I think that we can all kind of identify certain like pinnacle points in our life where we're either going up the mountain or we're standing on the vista of it and going like, this is what brought me here, right? All of these lessons. And, when we look at the sum of our life as we stand here and now, right? It is in those lessons that we find ourselves over and over and over again in a very beautiful way, if you're open to it, because life is about a perspective. And if you don't like your life, sometimes it's just a perspective shift, right? That can really kind of help change things for you and turn things around. And, I'm on this journey now, coupled with the metaphysical, because, spirituality is whatever we really want to make of it. Right.
Yes.
And it's just embracing what is, I feel, without resistance. Right. Without saying, like, because if we believe in a spiritual sense, we don't have evidence of it. We just know it to be true. Right. And so while we can look for evidence, evidence doesn't always serve us. Sometimes it's just what we know. And to really, embody and embrace that inner knowing within yourself. And, where I sit now, it's just with love, And I bring it back to nature. And of course, we both have trees behind us, right? Yours are among the living. And I really appreciate that. And mine's a bit more metaphysical in nature, but so is yours, right? And so when it comes to like being able to really identify who you are, for me, we're nature. And so to really find yourself is to also find nature.
That's definitely me. I am very strong with my nature. I feel like I could really be a part of it, and I feel like I am part of it when I'm in the mountains and enjoying the scene like behind me here. Is just love it.
There's a rhythm and a harmony that exists within nature. And if we're open to it, right? Because we can't go out into nature and say, don't you rain on me. Don't there be, I hope there's not bugs. There's bugs.
There's bugs.
It's hot. It's whatever it is, right?
Right.
But it does take just that shift, And if you watch nature, nature doesn't care if it rains. Nature doesn't care if it's hot. Nature still exists. And one of my favorite things to do, I just came off of an 8-day backpacking trip. So you can imagine nature has blossomed within me, right?
Right.
But sit in nature, sit on the ground,
Oh, yeah.
and then just look. There's life all around you. And it is not bothered that you're there. If our lives could be more free, if we could exist, we can, right? Without so much resistance within us. And I think that that's really what I'm being guided, not only to share here today, but also to live and embrace. Because if I can do it, well, perhaps it's an invitation for you to do the same. Right?
Right. Yeah. And I do that. I actually have a tree at work that on my break, I'll go out and sit up against the tree and just ground myself and enjoy just being there.
Yeah. And the beautiful
Yeah.
thing is the tree doesn't care if you're having a bad day. It's not that it doesn't care, right? But
Right.
it will take what you have. And so if you are feeling lower vibration, the tree says, it's okay. Rest your back. I got you.
Yeah.
If you're feeling, on a higher vibrational, right? Then you'll sit there in love and the tree will respond with love. So no matter what, it's still responding with love. Right?
Yeah.
So it's just,
Yeah, and I feel that. I can feel that sometimes now that I'm kind of looking at it. Yeah, you can feel the difference if I'm in a higher vibration or a lower vibration. And the difference, the tree feels different. There's a different feel to it. Yeah, you're right.
there was last year, so I do a fair amount of backpacking. And last year we were up on a mountain in New York called Bear Mountain. And there was a lot of rain that year. And we found a place there was 4 of us in total. And we found a place to, rest for the night. And we had this most glorious night. It was overlooking the Hudson River. There was people all around. It was just amazing, right? Like a quintessential perfection of a night. In the middle of the night, I hear one of my friends, and she awakes and screams. And I'm in my hammock and I'm going, I already know what it is because I could feel it. There was a rock slide 200 yards from us.
Oh my goodness.
And I could feel the vibrations of it. You could feel it, like you could feel it coming. But I could also tell that it wasn't near me, right? It was near me, but it wasn't this impending doom, right? But at the same time, I don't think I would have cared. Does that make sense? Because I was so harmonious with nature in that moment that all fear had evaporated. And it was like, listen, if this rock slide is going to take me out, I'm going happy.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
I'm going in my realm. I mean, this is it.
Yeah. There was zero fear. There was, they were all, the other 3 were, oh my goodness, blah, blah, blah. And I just sat in my hammock and just was like, I just lay there. I didn't even move. And I was like, isn't life amazing? Because so interestingly enough, I met a young boy. He was a young man on the trail. And he said, 3 days ago, I'm sleeping in my tent and a tree fell. He showed me the picture on his tent stake, no less. And I said, let me ask you a question. I said, did you feel grateful in that moment? Or did you feel like you almost died? Because I think that there's a very large distinction between the two. And he said, no, I felt grateful. And I was like, I can tell. Because so often we'll say, hey, Dana, look, I almost died. No, you didn't. You're here, right? And so it was just an interesting moment of this perspective, right? And now I'm like reliving it and going, I've never told the story like, oh God, we almost died on Bear Mountain. That's never been my narrative. The most amazing thing happened on Bear Mountain. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like this boy, and to me, I was like, you're meant to be here. Like, that's not a mistake. This giant tree fell this far from your sleeping body. I'm celebrating you. As a matter of fact, I want more of your energy.
Yeah, that is absolutely. And that's kind of something I'm reading this book about waking in 5D, and I can't remember right off the hand who wrote it, but I'm trying to think of the name of it. But it's a fantastic book so far, and I'm reading it and I'm learning how to change my wording on things just like that, you know? It's not that I almost died. It's like, how amazing. I am still alive and I'm meant to be here. I am.
That's right.
This is grateful. This is, like you're saying, this is awesome.
Right. I had
What
this
a story.
experience, right? And what did it
Yeah.
teach me? And that's always my favorite thing too. I ask my clients a lot of that too when they come with these stories, because we all have stories, right?
Oh.
And we want to see things generally as inherently bad because it kind of serves our narrative, right? In our lives of victimhood and, you know, what have you. But that narrative doesn't always serve us. And so how do we see it from a different lens, a lens of love? And when you can see things in luck, I deserve to still be here. I am here because I deserve it, because that tree missed me, right? And when you can come from that attitude of gratitude, right? I don't want to sound so cliche, but that's, that's real. And sometimes it's just a perspective shift. And so oftentimes I'll ask, like, are you open to a shift? Because not everyone is. It's like, yeah, okay, you can. Well, what if we thought about it in this way? Because what we say to ourselves becomes our reality. And I don't know that we pay enough attention to that.
I don't think we do. As a society, I really don't think we do, just by listening to people and actually listening to myself here the last few days. It's like, oh my. And I'm working on it. I mean, there's a long road ahead of me, for no doubt, there's a long road. But just in the last couple of days, I've been trying to work on changing my wording on things. And I've caught myself today several times. It's like, oh, Dana, Dana, okay, how are we going to change this? So I'm working on it, and it seems already shifted some.
Yeah. And, and that's all that we really need in order to shift inside, is the drive to do it. You don't have to have the answers. The universe will tell you. But if you are looking at your life, and I've said this, I probably said it 2 or 3 times today, as it were. If you want things in your life to change, you have to change things in your life. There's no getting around that, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're being called to shift things in your life, it's up for you to also listen, right? And it does take work, and it does take repetition, for the sheer fact that we've been living on a program, because that's really what everything kind of is, right? It's just these programs like, well, I need to get married and have a house. Why? Oh, I actually don't know, because that's what everyone says. I need to have a good job. Why? Oh, I don't actually know. That's what everyone says, right? And if you listen to it, or that's what my mom said. My mom suffered, so now I have to make my child suffer because I can't see outside of these programs. But really and truly, that's what they are, right? And programs are actually traumas. They're traumas to us because they're not authentically ours, And so, like I often say to my clients, because this is very light, right? And we need a little bit of humility in our life. And I love the fact that you're sharing that, because that is humility for you to stop and go, Dana, oh, you're so silly. Instead of, Dana, you're X, Y, and Z, which could have been the old programming where we say negative things about ourselves, right? But we don't need to, because we're love and we're learning.
And it's with the same saying is, we're human.
That's right.
So we make mistakes. So who cares? Let's just correct it and move on, and let's go forward.
We wouldn't be on a journey if we did everything right. Gosh, that would be boring, right? If we were all the same.
Exactly.
That would be boring, right?
It would be so boring.
And one of the things that I was going to say before is, like, I often ask my clients, and I'll ask people this too, because they'll always give you the answer. I was in the woods with somebody this over the week, and they said, they come from a therapeutic background, and they said, but do you think traumas can heal? Yes. Well, how? How do you know? Because I've done it. Because I know, because I've done it, right? I've done it for myself. And I said, what's a pet peeve? And this is a fun one. And I enjoy, I invite the listeners to think of this too. So what's a pet peeve? Would you care to share? Do you have a pet peeve that comes to mind?
Oh, wasn't expecting this.
If not, I can bring one up. That's okay.
Yeah, go ahead, because sure. I'm sure okay. I'll agree with it. Because
yeah. So this one girl that I had asked most recently, she says, well, it's the toilet paper roll. Okay, what about the toilet paper roll? Well, I don't like when I go into the bathroom and I have to put on a new toilet paper roll. I was like, yeah, that's really annoying. How does it make you feel? Well, I don't like it. I understand. But how does it make you feel? Disrespected. And there's your program. There's your trauma. And so a lot of times we don't actually witness. We think that it's light. Oh, we'll just talk about our pet peeves. Like, oh, I have OCDs. I have pet peeves. I can't be around this. I can't be around that. And I say with so much love in the world, but all of that are programs and their traumas. And I'm sorry, but nature, God, whoever you want to call it, They're not celebrating our traumas with us. They're calling for us to heal them. It just matters if we listen, right? And so you take something like a pet peeve, because for me, in my work, it really helps to open up some of these core wounds. Because if you're not feeling respected, right? And of course, we're seeing a pet peeve as if it's happening to us, right? But the person didn't, I don't imagine the person sat there and thought, ha, 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 you're going to have to feel it next time because I don't respect you, right?
Right.
We don't know what happened. We don't know
Right.
why it wasn't filled. So that's where compassion steps in and say, well, there's something here I don't know. Why do I feel this way? Oh, I feel disrespected. But why? I feel unseen. Oh, okay. So really it's about feeling unseen. I almost guarantee if you layer back most pet peeves, they have the same core wound. At least that's what I found. But here's the good side of that, right? Because it is just a perspective. You get to heal it if you want. Like, you don't have to be the victim of a toilet paper roll, because let's be honest, that's pretty funny, right? Like, in a world of worlds, it's a funny thing to be that upset about a toilet paper roll. And it's okay, because again, these are the ways that we can learn more about ourselves by asking that question and using that curiosity within us. Instead of saying, nobody likes me, nobody respects me, you can, but that doesn't feel very good.
Right. It just brings you lower.
That's right. And and then naturally what happens, right? You see, your husband, your partner who, maybe didn't put the role in, and now it's like, right? Because we're already upset. This person has no idea why we're upset with them.
Right.
And that if you never tell them, it just lingers. But really what that is, again, it's just your nervous system sharing with you that something needs to shift within you. Right? And it's an invitation. It truly is an invitation. And so while it's super fun to talk about pet peeves, because there are things that we're like, I don't even know why this bothers me. That's so silly that it bothers me. But to witness it as your own thing, that's a beautiful thing. Because it is our thing.
It is our thing.
Only our thing.
Yeah. And that's the part of the shadow work that I'm working on also, is realizing some of these things that just hits my nerve instantly. It's like, okay, Dana, let's step it back. Let's step back. And with this book going into 5D, I'm like, okay, well, I'm putting the shadow into relating with this, and I'm seeing it now, but next week will show how what I really learned off of it. Because next week I'll be in that situation again. So I want to, okay, what am I learning? How am I going to correct this? What's going to be better? I'm going to move forth on this.
Right. And so often we share phrases that really don't make sense. Like, this person makes me mad. We hear it all the time. So it feels like a very general, okay statement, but it's really not. And if somebody is making you mad, that is an invitation for you to reflect inward. Why is it making me mad? Because again, these are all our programs, right?
Right.
But again, the beautiful thing here is that you get to heal it. Like, you get to. And it's no accident. If you're listening to this, there might be something in here. There is something in here for you. You wouldn't be listening to it otherwise, right? The universe is divine in the way that we are here in every capacity. And so to really exist in that and to witness yourself with humility and grace, just as nature would, right? Mm-hmm. That's where you can find those deeper, like I said, invitations to heal, because there isn't a person on this planet that doesn't deserve something different. But to deserve, for me, is to know that it can be different, that it should be different. Right? So it's not like, well, Dana, you have that nice picture of the tree. I can't have that nice picture of the tree. Or I should have that nice picture of the tree. Well, the only thing stopping me is me. It has nothing to do with you. And I was just talking to someone about this, and they said the word deserve kind of bothers me because it feels negative. And I said, I hear you. I understand where you're coming from. Because why do I deserve something over and above you? Right? That doesn't seem fair. You know, it'd be like, well, here's $20 for you and here's $10 for you. Well, why? Because she deserves 20. But why? Right?
Right, right.
But if we peel back the layers of deserve, I really, truly, fundamentally believe it comes to this knowing within us. Like, I know that I'm going to achieve this. I deserve it because I know it. And so if you think that you deserve something, you also need to know it, or it won't come to fruition because you'll talk yourself right out of it.
Yeah.
Unintentionally, but you will.
But you will. Right. Right. And that's I'm feeling this shift going on with me right now, and I feel like I'm getting so much closer with my podcast here that it's going to really start kicking up. It's going to start flourishing, and to the point where I'm like seeing myself not working anymore.
Yes.
And doing this podcast, to me, doesn't feel like work. It's just so much fun. So to bring forth and get this podcast going it's starting to flow.
Yeah.
It's starting to flow. It's going to start kicking for me, and I'm ready. I'm getting prepped. I've got things rolling.
Do you know what's beautiful about that, Dana? Is first of all, I'm totally celebrating you because I think that that's such a beautiful thing. More platforms that we have to share our voices for people. Oh, amazing. So thank you for that. But I see the light in your eyes, and that's a knowing.
And
yeah.
And I feel it. And like I say, I'm feeling this change going on. I just feel like, I don't know, I might even get fired tomorrow. Heck, I don't know.
It'd be a blessing, I'm sure.
But it's going to be like, okay, well, now is my time to go with the podcast.
Yeah.
It's time. And I feel it coming on. I feel it's going to be soon.
Yeah. I'm celebrating that.
I feel
it is. It's happening. It is
happening. It is. And I'm just waiting for that time.
Right. And the universe will show you. Mm-hmm. It's your job to listen. Right.
Yep.
And I say that with such grace because, you know, if we want, we can find all the love and support that we need if we're looking for it. And it is not in anyone else, you know? And it's like, you know, like I was saying before, if you go down the Hallmark aisle and pick up a card, you complete me, you make me be better, you blah, 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 blah. No. We need cards to say, you enhance the love that I have. Right? You amplify the desire to be better, but nobody's making us do anything. Right? And so I think that that's also kind of convoluted in our society where it's like, I need someone to feel better. No, you don't. And I say that with love because I get it. Like if you say that to me and my response is, no, you don't, that I'm not holding space for you. I'm not helping you. Right. And I totally get that because in a different space and place of time, I will hold the space for you. But on this platform, it's more, you know, just hear what's being said because you don't have to live the life you're living.
Right.
You are choosing to, right? You are choosing to. And we all are walking around with our wounds. Some of our wounds are more expressed in the public eye and some are not. That doesn't mean that they still don't exist. And to live a harmonious life is to heal those wounds. Because they don't serve us. And that's what I tell all of my clients whenever we're healing something. I say, get rid of it. That's not yours. You don't own it anymore. We're done with that. Yep. Be done with it.
Yep.
Shake it out. It's not yours. And you witness the most beautiful energetic exchange of this density just totally shifting. Right? Because I find like if I was to, I can't know what it really looks like. But for me, and the way I describe it is our traumas exist in a dense ball of energy, right? And whenever they're surfaced, they, you know, because they feel heavy and chaotic. And a lot of times we can't even identify them because we haven't sat with them or we're curious about them, right? So we have this dense ball of energy. And let's say it's the wound of feeling unseen, because that's really a core wound, right?
No.
And we take that wound. And because I'm using your body, I'm just the guide. I'm not healing anybody. I can't do it for you, right?
Right.
I can't. Guiding you through releasing this trauma, not only from your thoughts, but from your organs. And so I'll have people come to me and they'll be a 10. Like, how do you feel? Well, I feel it's a 10. Because yeah, I triggered you. I have to, in order for you to feel it, right?
Right.
And you're weeping. That's usually what happens. I'm not a masochist. I don't enjoy it. That's just that. You know what I mean? And people are weeping within it.
Right.
But you watch in 10 minutes, it's totally gone. I mean, it is miraculous. And I share this not because you should come heal with me. That's not the message. The message is just to heal. Who you do it and how you do it, the universe will provide that if you ask.
Yep.
And listen. Right? First is the ask. Hardest part is the second. So easy to ask for things.
Oh yeah, totally easy.
Right?
Totally.
I want $1 million.
Where is it? It's not falling yet.
Right. Because it's not. It's not going to happen that way. But if you really put out into the world that you want $1 million and you keep putting it out and you're open to receiving the messages and the lessons from the universe, I have no doubt you'll get $1 million. Do you know?
Yep.
It is, we do have that power. I mean, the most powerful thing in the planet is our thoughts, which is wild to think about.
It is. And here recently I had another experience kind of with the shadow, working with that. I had something that came about and it just inflamed me. I was just so inflamed. And I said, I gotta leave. I'm in this room with others and I go, I gotta leave. I walk out the door, I sat down, and I'm like, wait, this isn't mine. I'm the one that's not feeling this. I'm not feeling this. I'm not that kind of person. I am this kind of person. And I walked back in, and it was still hard several days after, but I just kept saying to myself when I got that feeling, that's not me. That's not my feeling. That is the other person's feelings. That's their situation, not mine. I was like, wow, I just healed.
How empowering. How empowering and intentional of you. And you're right. You did. Because you're putting in the reps, the repetitions, so that next time you might not have to think about it.
Yeah.
Right? Where you just go like, no, that's not mine.
That's right? Not me. That's not how I work. That's the other side.
Yeah.
So back on you.
Right. And to sit and witness that is such a beautiful thing. And I think that those are really those little messages and those guidances that show us like, yeah, you are on the path. You are on the path because you're shifting.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You're shifting because you want to shift also.
Yes.
And that's the beautiful thing in that.
Yes.
You're shifting because you want to. You want to see, you want to do and be different. And like now I exist and people are around, drop my daughter off at school and you hear people, how you doing today? Fine. Can't complain. No one would listen to me anyways. And blah, blah, they say all these things, right? And if you really listen, not with judgment, with curiosity, you'll hear how negative people fundamentally are. And the beautiful thing is when you're witnessing that is to also know that's not you. That's not my story.
Yeah.
Today is a beautiful day because I'm choosing to have one.
And that's my quote from this book now that I'm doing. I've been starting off, I'm like, okay, this is a beautiful day. I am spending my day in a day of heaven on earth. And I say that a couple times as I'm going to work. I'm trying to, okay. And I'm walking into work. I go, this is a beautiful day, heaven on earth. And so far it's working. But like I say, we'll wait till next week and I'll see how I've actually learned.
Yeah. The other beautiful thing too, that's right, Dana. And the other thing to do or as an invitation to is even if it doesn't feel that way, look for the ways it does. Because you can match that at any point in time. Right?
That's right.
Our days are never one thing. They're multiple. It's this constant.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
But can we stay grounded? Can we stay rooted and authentic in our heart space? And it's okay if you can only do an hour of that. Great. You did an hour. If you can give, see, we live in a world that's all or nothing. And that's also something that's very hard. We don't have to make we're not changing our lives today. We're not. I'm sorry. I wish
No.
we were, but we're not.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
But I could do one thing today. I could just do one thing. And that's always just one thing, 1% better. We don't have to be 100% better. We'll just be 1% better. And so if I can challenge this programming thoughts of mine just one time, well, tomorrow I'll do it twice because I won't have to think about the first time.
Right.
I'll just think about another new time. And they just build on each other.
That's right. And we're going to have to end right here, even though I hate to, because
it's okay.
It's so much and so interesting and so awesome. But yeah, thank you so much for all your knowledge and sharing. And
of course.
That's just awesome. It's so wonderful. And I'm glad I chose the trees in the background because I was looking through. It's like, oh, I feel like trees today. And here you have a tree.
That's right. Divine timing, as always, right, Dana?
It's everything, isn't it?
It is. And thank you so much for this beautiful platform. Thank you for having me on this podcast. And more importantly, like and subscribe because this woman's on a mission and we want to support her because we are a collective. We are a collective.
And really, on top of this, I just sent out a video and I would like to get other people involved, and not just the spiritual people, but the people that they love that are not in this spot. And I would love to get a group together to help those support us as we support them in their different time zone or their time limits. So check out my podcast for that, and let's get a group together and help support each other no matter where we are. So to end this right here, click the like, share, and subscribe buttons down below. And if you have a story or experiences that you would love to share with us, email me, lighttalk423, lighttalk423@gmail.com. And we will see you next time. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me. And thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.